Did you know the average sales manager spends over 5 hours every week just copying contact information between systems? That's more than 260 hours a year wasted on tasks a computer should handle for you. Enhance your customer experience by integrating HubSpot's CRM with Knack's client portals. This allows businesses to provide secure, self-service access to key information, enabling customers and partners to view personalized data based on their interactions and preferences, submit inquiries, and access support with seamless CRM logging, track leads, collaborate, and manage resources in a partner portal, and sync interactions back to HubSpot for a 360-degree customer view. With Knack, businesses can build interactive, branded portals that streamline customer engagement, partner collaboration, and service management, all while keeping data in sync with HubSpot. Sales managers, we see your constant struggle back and forth between HubSpot and your databases. This manual juggling doesn't just waste your time, it's actively sabotaging your sales results with inconsistent data and missed follow-ups. If you're tired of this productivity drain, you're in the right place. Today, I'm gonna show you exactly how to end this nightmare by connecting Knack with HubSpot to create automatic contact synchronization that just works. What makes our approach different? We've helped hundreds of sales teams solve this exact problem, and we've even distilled the process into a few simple steps that anyone can follow. No coding required. By the end of the video, you'll learn how to connect these two applications and have them perfectly synced at all times, freeing your team for focusing on what really matters, closing deals. First, you're gonna go to your client portal or wherever you have a setup that has proper contacts to connect with a CRM. Now I'm gonna go to Knack Flows and I'm going to create a flow from scratch. Add a trigger. For example, we can add the new trigger for a record that's created, and you're going to go to the client portal and select contacts. Now, after this table context is picked, what we're going to do is we are going to then add a action for adding data to HubSpot. So this is essentially making the initial record or contact in this specific case when we are working with HubSpot. So you can add a linked app here with HubSpot. It takes a few seconds. You essentially have to add your password, username, and if you have a verification code, you need to add that too. So now what we're going to do is from the created record, we're going to grab the name from the person. We are also going to open up all the fields, see what we want, definitely email, and probably phone number. We could also add different ones like the address and the like. However, you don't have to. There's a lot of different options within here. Honestly, HubSpot is insanely large when it comes to fields and properties. So I'm gonna use myself an example. So what I'm gonna do is go into the data here and then go to contacts. Now I can totally add a contact here in the back end, or in the front end, I can add the option to create a new view. And in that view, I can create a form for contacts, right? So for example, I can make it so that in this form, I can add it. And in these inputs, I could then fill out my needs. So for example, right here, I could go to the live app, interact with it, and show you exactly how this would work. So if I'm a manager, I'm gonna log in here, test it out. So for example, I could say, this is my name, and I'm gonna put just this information. I'll do the 25th, and then I will add a phone number in here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna press submit to see what happened. So we can go in the back end and take a look at the data. We'll see in the records, we have a submitted option with a phone number. Oh, I gotta fix my birthday, that's not my birthday. It's the 21st, come on. Then from there, we'd go into HubSpot and check it out. So now what we can do is we can go to Flows and check the log. So we can go here, go to Flow Logs. And so as you can see right here, success, record created happened in my end, and a record created happened in HubSpot. So if I go over here to my HubSpot and refresh the screen, look at that, added, perfect. And there's a lot more you can do here as well. If there's anything that happens, like for example, if you wanna set it up in the other direction, or if you want it to happen in the portal, you absolutely can. You can, in your system, make a form. So for example, you can add clients, and those clients can have different forms in the back end or you could add context to them. But even more cool, in my opinion, is having a two-way sync. So let me show you something really cool. If I create another flow from scratch, and I could name it what I want, I could name it like HubSpot to Knack Sync. We can go to HubSpot right here, and you can say, and you could click contact updated, right? So my HubSpot account right here. And what I want to do is actually add a tool here for filtering. So if I click on stop automation on condition for filter, I can press select. I can add a pause flow for if last updated, last activity date equals date. If last activity date is not empty, so it has data. We don't want this to happen unless there's data, okay? So what we can do is we can sync anything we want. If we go to Knack, we can go to update record, and what we can do is we can grab that client portal again, go to tables, contacts. You gotta find what record ID it would be. So what we're actually gonna do is go back and put in a find step beforehand. So we're gonna go to Knack and we're gonna search for a single record, right? So we're trying to get the record that was edited in HubSpot that was really the one in Knack and then bring it back. Rhyme not intended. So we can go to contacts again, and we're gonna find it based off a certain parameter. So we're gonna search for this based off of the email, for example, and we're gonna set it to is. All right, so it is this email, okay? And then we're gonna grab the record ID from that search, and what we're gonna do is we can update anything we want. What I think would be really cool, actually, would be to update, say there's a phone number change, street address, maybe they change location, city, state, zip. All right, so now what we have is we have all of these fields that will update if and when a field would update inside of here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into here. I'm gonna actually click into this contact and get all the data in front of me. So you can see we got your created date, the last activity date here. Okay, so let's go to about this contact. We're gonna go to properties and I'm gonna add the details here. So it says this has never been set. Okay, I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna give it a street. So I'm gonna do 215 South Wacker Drive. Okay, and then I'm gonna do city. I'm gonna add Chicago. I'm gonna do state and do Illinois. Okay, then I'm going to go and be done with this and press save. All right, so properties have been saved, right? So if we go back to contacts, that's been updated. And this doesn't have a last activity date because there hasn't been an actual activity inside of HubSpot, right? Like what I just did was updated based on that. So you can have that if you want it to only really show people who are active in your CRM. But if you want to update it the second somebody's updated, you can remove this filter. I just wanted to show you it as an option. So I'm gonna press start and we're gonna make one last change and just tweak the phone number to show you how it works. So we're just gonna go back in and change the stage of this guy to an opportunity just to do it real quick. You can see the flow is on. And boom, the flow just triggered. And if we go back to tasks, we go to records. Look at that, the address is here. That's crazy. Now we can do one last change. And as you guessed, same process, right? Let's go to create from scratch. One more time, let's go to Knack. You're gonna be like, there's no way he's managing it, but I am. If I go to record updated inside of client portal, and then I go to contacts again, it can also update everything in HubSpot when something's updated in Knack, right? So we can have it be a multi-way sync. So we go HubSpot, right? And we can do update contact, select the account, and then we can update whatever we want. So say for example, we want this to happen. We'd have to once again add a step inside here for HubSpot to find the contact based off of a certain criteria, which is usually good to do the email, right? So we can do the email from here. Okay, and the contact ID would be found here. And then we would just update pretty much any fields we'd want, right? So we can pretty much do the same name situation. We can just do the name here from Knack. If there's anything else that we wanted to add, I know we always are doing email, but we could add phone number. And then this time, if we wanted to, we could obviously add the street address and that kind of stuff. So let's press save here just to show you how it works really quick. And let's press start and test it out. Now, once again, I could totally do this in the front end in the live app if I made it how I wanted to. But let's say, for example, I wanted to change the phone number to a different one. Like I'll just make a slight tweak to 708, which is a area code that I'm familiar with. I press update here. Then if I go back here, you see, oh, it changed in real time. I saw 708 tick and change. That is so cool. That is so quick and so effective. Absolutely amazing. So what we have here is pretty incredible. You might wonder what makes our integration special, but it's the fact that I didn't need a third-party tool to make this happen. I was simply able to, inside of my own ecosystem, connect HubSpot to Knack. No Zapier, no Make.com, none of that. The customizable databases that we have isn't gonna limit our CRM fields. And then on top of that, the connector isn't gonna limit how it interacts with HubSpot. Power users are gonna love this, and this two-way sync has a million different ways that it can go. So if you like this video and wanna learn more about how you can become a power user inside of Knack and Knack Flows, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll be giving you many more of these to come. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.